Hello, first grade. So today we're going to be learning about our sky. So I want you to take a minute and just think. Think about the sky. Maybe if you're next to a window, you can look out the window. Think about what you see, maybe some of the objects in the sky, and that'll get us started with our lesson. So, what will we learn about today? We are going to be learning about the sun, the moon, the stars, daytime, nighttime, and how the objects like the sun, the moon, and the stars all move in the sky. So I know you guys have wandered outside and you've thought, the sun isn't where it was maybe an hour or two ago. Maybe you thought the same thing about the moon if you had a long car ride at night. Well, today we are going to be learning about that and we're going to see why they move and how. The vocabulary for today. It's really short today. We just have sunrise, which is the time of day when the sun rises and the night turns into day. We have the sunset, which is the time of day when the sun lowers and day turns into night. We have the moon, which is the rocky round object that circles Earth. We have the stars, which are the glowing balls of light in the night sky. And we have the sun, which is the bright, shining ball in the daytime sky, which gives light to Earth. So I know you guys have probably heard these words before. You probably kind of have an idea of what they mean. I'm sure you know what the sun, the moon, and the stars are. But this is just kind of a few terms to get us into our lesson today that will help us later on. So, what do you know about the sun? I'll give you guys a few seconds to think about it, but just think about when you go outside, maybe what you see, maybe how the sun makes you feel, maybe how it affects other things. But I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. All right, now that we've thought about it, we are going to get into our lesson. The sun. So the sun comes out during the day. When you go out at night, you'll never see the sun. Now that means it's not night. And it gives the earth heat and light. So when I told you guys to think about how the sun makes you feel, when you go outside, especially during the summer, the sun can make the earth hot, right? Because it gives off heat. It also gives off light, which makes it bright outside, which kind of explains why sometimes the sun might hurt your eyes when you go outside. The sun also rises in the east and sets in the west. Okay, so what that means is it'll start in one point in the sky and then it moves around like half a circle kind of in the sky. Okay, so that's why you'll go out in the morning and it'll be in one place, and then you go out maybe during the night and it's in another, right? So that kind of explains that a little bit. Now, what do you know about the moon? When do you see the moon? What's around the moon? Can you tell me maybe what time of day the moon comes out? I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it. All right, now that we've thought about it, you guys got some ideas in your head, we're going to learn about the moon a little bit. So the moon comes out during the night, okay? When you go out during the daytime, you're not really going to see the moon, right? It shines in the night sky. Now we know that the sun is super, super bright, right? It hurts our eyes if we look at it too long. Now the moon isn't really the same way, okay? It gives off some light, you can see it shining in the night sky, but it doesn't really hurt your eyes. Now, the moon also rises in the east and sets in the west, just like the sun does, okay? So, like what I was saying before, maybe if you're out riding at night, okay, you might fall asleep in the car. When you wake up, the moon might not be in the same place as it was when you fell asleep because it moves with time, just like the sun does, okay? And again, you can picture it kind of like a half circle. Okay, this is what you can see. And it goes right like that, okay? A half circle. So, what do you know about the stars? Okay, so we've covered the sun, we've covered the moon. Now we can think about maybe what time of day stars come out, maybe what reminds you of stars, what they look like they're doing, maybe what they look like. I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it. All right, do we have a good idea? Let's move on. The stars. So the stars are like the moon, right? They come out during the night. They come out when it's dark outside. They shine in the night sky, just like the sun and the moon. Kind of like the moon, they're not as bright as the sun. You're not going to get blinded by a star, okay? But they do shine in the night, and they often look like they are twinkling, right? You guys have heard the song Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. That's because they kind of like they're blinking, maybe like they're doing that kind of, just a little bit, okay? So we've all seen them in the night sky. They kind of just look like little pinpoints in the dark, right? All right. So which is which, okay? Which one twinkles in the sky? Your options are the sun, the moon, and the stars, okay? If you said stars, you would be right, okay? The stars are the ones that look like they're twinkling in the sky. Which one is Rocky? If you said the moon, you would be right again, right? We can look up in the sky and we can kind of see that it looks kind of rocky, right? It's not really like bright and blazing like the sun is. Sun kind of looks like fire almost, okay? Now the moon's not like that. It looks kind of rocky. Which one is the brightest? If you said the sun, you would be right, remember? Because the moon and the stars don't shine as bright as the sun. Now, which two travel from east to west? Remember, it's kind of like that half circle we were talking about. Okay? If you said the sun and the moon, you would be right. The stars do seem to change in the night, right? But the ones that we're going to focus on today, moving from east to west, is going to be the sun and the moon. All right, so now we're going to do daytime versus nighttime, right? The daytime, the sun is out. There's people walking around. You can see that a lot of people and animals are awake. There are a lot of people, maybe think about in the park, right? You're going to see a lot of people in the park during the daytime because it's bright outside. There's a bunch of light outside coming from the sun. All right, and then we talk about nighttime. Okay, at nighttime we're going to be seeing the moon, we're going to be seeing the stars, it's going to be super dark outside. Most people are going to be sleeping. Like I said, you're probably going to be in bed at this time. It's probably your bedtime. You know you're about to go to sleep when it gets dark outside, right? Because that's nighttime. All right, so we have some more questions. What comes out during the day? It's the sun, right? The moon and the stars come out during the night. Okay, and that's our next question. What comes out during the night? Repeat with me. It is the moon and the stars, right? So what comes out during the day? The sun. What comes out during the night? The moon and the stars. The sun rises in the east and sets in the... It's the west, right? Okay, so remember that's our half circle we're talking about that it looks like in the sky. Okay, is it dark during the day or is it dark during the night? Think about the park we were talking about. Would you go to the park when it's bright outside or would you go to the park when it's dark outside? It's dark during the night, isn't it? Right, so the night is when it's dark. That's when we're not going to the park. Okay, now here is your worksheet I want you to work on. You're going to need an adult for this, but you can see that little piece on the side there. It says what's in the sky. That part you're going to glue down on some notebook paper, okay? So if you have notebook paper, even construction paper or copy paper would work. I want you to cut the line in the middle where it says day and night. Right in the middle of that sheet is a line, okay? I want you to cut across that. I want you to color it, and then I want you to put in it things that you see or that happen during the day on the top part, and then on the bottom part, I want you to put things that you see, do, anything that has to do with the night, okay? So you could put that you're sleeping during the night. You can put that during the day you go to the park. You can put that during the day the sun comes out. You can put during the night that the moon and stars come out. But I only want you to fill in about one or two things for each flap, okay? Now you'll need an adult to help you with this with the scissors and the glue. And here is the final thing you guys are going to work on. Now on the thing before, I kind of told you what to put under the flaps, but not on this one. This is all you guys, okay? But we're going to go over it the next time I see you in class. So you can see the boxes here on the worksheet. The top one says sunrise, the bottom one says sunset, and then you have daytime and nighttime. I want you guys to use crayons or markers or whatever you guys can find, and I want you to color for me what it looks like during these times, right? So you're going to color a pretty sunrise for me, you're going to color a pretty sunset, and then you just fill in those things, okay? Maybe you can color in a sun or a moon like what we talked about. All right? That's all that I have for today. So guys, just work on that worksheet and work on your other activity, the little, I like to call it a foldable, okay, the thing with the day and the night on it. All right, work on that, have it ready for me next time. All right, and I will see you guys later.